Spirits Got You Down, California Intuitive Dana Grant meets Southern Psychic Allie Divine as they discuss and lead you through all things divine. Let them be your guides in Spirit Unlimited.
You know what, Allie? It's been a long time since I've seen you. I've been traveling in Italy, and here we're back. October's over. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready for fall. I
You ready
am
for?
so ready,
Well, I hate to break it to you. Well, actually, fall is here, but you
Mhm.
know.
I'm talking about fall weather,
Oh
crisp,
yeah,
nice and
like
crisp weather.
fires, apple pie, that kind of stuff. We should
Oh,
welcome the Spirit Unlimited. We've got some really diehard followers. We want to say thank you for
oh,
listening,
most definitely.
downloading, and if you
And
listen and download.
commenting. Yeah.
Yeah, and commenting. And if you do that, you're on our radar for a free live reading on our podcast. So keep those messages coming. I love those. What is your favorite message so far, Allie?
Oh gosh.
Nothing like putting you on the
There's
spot, but you
you
know I'm
love
going
doing that,
to.
Dana.
I
Yeah,
do.
I don't know. There's been so many.
Yeah.
Truly, there has been
Yeah, I
so many. I love
so
it when we
many.
do those
So many.
impromptu the readings. I love when we did
Yeah.
the live together and
Oh
reached
yeah.
out to a lot of clients. It was wonderful.
You,
Just to
you know
touch
what's so
base.
interesting? When we did our live, I'm thinking she was so quiet on one of them. I'm like, gosh, are we hitting it? Feels like we're right on target, on the mark.
Mhm.
And I spoke to her the other day and she said, I couldn't even move my mouth because it was just, it was so on point. I didn't know what to do.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, and
Yeah.
I love it when they give us the validations,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
And
you're
I
good at
get it.
asking questions like that. As a coach, I don't ask that validation question, but you are
Mhm.
great about saying, does that mean something to you? Does that resonate with you? And and what we're talking about today is the boundaries around empaths, the boundaries around what we do, and how far we should go with our information, especially when we know 15 feet in all directions is our energy
Right.
field, and we know we go a lot further when we cross that veil. And how much do we share? What are our boundaries? And, how do we prevent, how they receive it and what we can let them
Yeah.
know with their free will of what they can do with it. So I'm going to
I
leap
think
in
it's
there.
great.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you, what do you think about that, Allie? Where do you stop and draw the line in a reading with boundaries? Is it around death? Is it around births, pregnancies? Where do you draw the line and say, listen, energetically, and the angels tell
Mhm.
me this information is off limits, but I can go here?
Right. Right. Well, what I like to do is number one, to me, it depends on the client, but as a
Yeah.
rule, never death. I don't care how many
Mm,
times someone will say, I need to know. But those
yeah.
angels, they
Or
know
I
what
can
we
handle
need.
it. I can
Yeah.
handle it. Whenever they say
Yeah.
that, it's
Hmm. And it's
no.
like, that's a red flag,
Yeah.
or when they say, I want to know everything. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Because we're not supposed to know everything. I don't get
No.
everything in a message. I
No.
get what they need to know. And a lot of
Exactly.
people don't like that, but that's just sort of the way it is. So there's those rules and those boundaries.
Hmm.
So we just have to give them what is needed
It's so
for
funny you
that
say that.
session.
I just watched you. You did a huge live, and I was watching you in the room go from one person to the next. And I noticed that you gave them exactly what they needed. Everybody was extremely emotional because you were on target, like always. You're like boom, 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 boom. But I noticed that you held back navigating
Mhm.
what they asked for. They wanted it all, but you gave them just
Right.
enough so they could make the decision on and perhaps give them peace. I noticed a lot of peace that you gave them. And do
Thank
you
you.
think that if we give too much information, it robs them of their peace? What do you think about that?
I
Something I thought
think
about this week.
I think it could either rob them or like maybe corrupt them in a way,
Ah,
you know?
so where they become
Um,
psychic junkies, where they just keep wanting more answers
yes,
and more
yes.
answers, and
Yeah,
they stop trusting themselves, and we've
that's right.
actually disrupted the process.
Mhm. I think, yeah, 'cause,
Mm,
that's such a good point, Dana. I'm so glad you brought that up because I always tell people anything can be addicting, even this. Okay. And I personally, in my belief system, do not rely on me or other mediums or their psychics. God
Mhm.
gave you your own view. Okay. I think
Mhm.
it's best used for like maybe a second opinion sometimes. You see what I'm getting at? Or a
Or maybe
validation.
I was just going to say a
Hmm.
validation
Right.
due to the fact that you already have the niggle or you wouldn't be asking. You
That's
want the
right.
validation because you already know. I always
Exactly.
tell them, your body already knows. Tell
Hmm.
me what I'm going to tell you. And they're like, how could I possibly know that? Oh,
Yeah,
because you do. And that's why
that's right.
when we validate, they're like, I knew it. No
And
one
see,
ever says,
that's right.
oh
But
my
we
gosh, I
all
didn't
need
know.
that.
Yeah.
I think we all need that double
Yeah, we're psyche.
verification, excuse me, because it's one of those things that
Hmm.
if we don't hear it from somebody else, we could let that go and we could lose some valuable information, valuable insight, you know, and we need to listen to our guts more, all of us, even us, especially me. Um,
Hmm.
but I think it's very important. I truly do.
Yeah. So where do you, Allie, where do you draw the line? I utilize this and dump the pieces out and as a coach, and then I
Hmm.
methodically work through it. You stay in the mediumship psychic world. Where do you draw the line in mediumship?
Okay. Well, again, I always ask those angels. Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but I never would I bring someone in that's passed on that would, or I should say, talk to them, that would bring in harsh words
Hmm.
of laying guilt on a loved one. Okay. Or,
Have you
ripping
experienced that where
them.
they come in and they're
Yes.
just, yeah.
Yes. And people are grieving enough. Okay.
Hmm.
And no disrespect to anybody who's passed on, but you had your time down here to say your piece. Should have did it
Hmm.
then. You see what I mean?
Too little,
So
too late. Yeah, you guys
that's
should have
right.
done the because
That's
I'm
right.
not
Because
passing your
these,
messages on.
no, because these people down here, they're grieving. They're looking for that closure,
Right.
and that acceptance of that. Um,
What are
but
you willing
even
not
when,
to do? What are you willing not to do to bring closure? What does that look like? Or a boundary around I'm not willing to.
exactly how, I mean, I don't understand. I guess I don't understand the question fully. Um, I won't channel.
Okay, you won't channel.
I will not channel. And well, in my opinion, I assume this is the definition of channeling. I will not go looking for that
Ah,
individual. If someone comes to me and they want to see their great Uncle Joe
right.
does not show up. I'm not going to say, okay, give me a minute and let me zen down. I'm not going to go looking for them. To me, that's not safe, nor is
Ah,
it, I don't think it's very productive because I think the ones that you need, those are the ones that come forward for you at that time. Now, granted, the next time you come, or if you see another medium, maybe Uncle Joe will be there.
right.
And it's all in that, again, that divine timing.
I
Okay.
love that you said. I love that you said that because I really never considered that. I've never gone looking. I'll doodle and they'll come forward, but if
That's
they
right. But
don't
see,
come
you don't
forward,
look either.
no. But I
Mm-mm.
hadn't articulated that. I
Yeah.
don't go looking. They just like, oh, well, hello.
Right. But
That's
I've
yeah.
I've even been to a few that when you sit down, the first thing out of their mouths, and that's fine. If that's how they conduct their work, more power to them. It's just I don't
Right.
work that way and you don't work that way. And
No.
neither is wrong, neither is right. Okay. But they will ask, who do you want to connect with today?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ooh, you tell me who's here. And they
Ah,
would not tell me who was there because they had to go look for them. Okay.
right.
And I don't have enough energy to go looking for spirits. And, they'll come in. And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a moment or two until they get comfortable. Have you ever had a session of any type like that, Dana, where the people, the clients are ready,
Mhm.
but sometimes those souls aren't quite ready.
Oh,
They're
yes.
there, you can feel them, you can describe them, but they don't necessarily want to come forward with a lot
Yeah.
of conversation.
It's so interesting you say that. And you know what I normally get is they're not showing up because they don't love me. They're never going to be present for me.
Right.
There's a lot
That's
of
not it.
emotional connection, and
Hmm.
that has always been very sad for me. But
Me too.
I'm not going to lie and say anyone's there that's not there. This is a boundary that,
Right.
but what their interpretation is he's not going to show up for me or she's not going to show up for me.
Mhm.
And and do you experience that when you say they're
Sometimes,
just not present and
right.
it's yeah,
Or I like to try to say sometimes they're not ready, or they may think it's not the correct time.
right.
Now,
Or they're not
so,
energetically
that's right.
strong enough to show up
Yes,
yet.
exactly. You don't know what line they're standing in back there, but
No, no.
sometimes I want your opinion on this, Dana.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes I think it's not necessarily the spirits or the souls that's not ready. I think it's us.
Ah,
Because I think if we hear from our loved one too soon, that could have a ripple effect. Because, see, a lot of people ask me, and I know I'm getting off track here, but
no,
I've
you're
had
not. This is a
several,
boundary about around what
yeah,
we're willing to share and connect with.
I
It's
see
right
a
on
lot of
point.
people, they'll ask, well, why aren't I seeing my loved one? Why can't I see them? Why won't they come
Right.
to me? And the
Hmm.
only answer that I can give is because it's not needed, because you don't truly know how your response would be.
Right.
Does that make sense? It could
Oh
cause, I
yeah.
know this sounds so silly and far-fetched, but there's a thing as being scared to death. Okay.
Well, and divine
Or
timing. I mean,
surprised.
yeah,
Yes.
we call it
Or
divine timing,
shocked. That's right.
and we believe in divine timing,
Yes, we
and that
do. That's our
means
motto.
yeah, and we trust this process. And if it
Hmm.
doesn't show up, number one, we don't want to go seek it. Number two,
Right.
they're not ready to show themselves, and we know this one. And as much as I never let someone down, it's best left alone at that moment and be honest than to
Yes.
ever say, I mean,
Or just try to
it just
fill in
seems,
the blanks, because you're
yeah,
definitely one of these who do not fill in the blanks, and I'm not
I do
either.
know. No, I mean,
Um,
we're not going to fill in the blanks because there's no
no,
blank to be filled in. We must be
that's right.
honest because that authenticity is what keeps that channel open.
That's
But I
right.
do know people that, and you see this, there's a lot of, I was at a live psychic show and I mean, he just hit every mark wrong. He
Oh,
didn't connect at all. And I'm like, what are you doing? I was so shocked.
yeah.
But you could clearly see that every question he asked was so off point, and he just didn't let it go. And well, number one, he lost credibility with everyone in
Right.
the room, including me. But you could, we know who's connecting and who's not connecting, and there was
That's
no
right.
connection. And I
Yeah.
thought, just say, listen, for whatever reason, we're going to take a pause. I'm
Yes.
not connecting. But he just kept hammering it home, and
Yeah,
it
and you
was,
can't do that. I don't
yeah,
I don't think
no,
it
it's a
should be done
boundary.
that
No,
way. I agree.
he
That's a
breached the
very good
boundary.
boundary. Very good. I'm so glad you brought that up, because sometimes that it is not, and the only way I can describe it is you cannot turn it on and turn it off when
Yeah,
it comes
yeah,
to mediumship. Because if
yeah.
they are there, even though you're still in that cycle of feeling
Hmm.
that, it doesn't mean that they're ready.
Right,
You see?
exactly.
I mean,
And
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 again,
when
we
you
can
call
feel them,
when
but what? No message,
yeah,
no message.
but when you call that a spiritual boundary as well,
Oh, I think so.
we don't just
Yes,
have earthly boundaries, but I think we have a this covenant where we actually have a spiritual boundary that we are bound by.
I
And
agree.
I think that it's unspoken, the spiritual
Hmm.
laws that we
I
work
love
by.
that.
You can
Yes, I
feel
love
it.
that.
We don't,
Hmm.
I might, we've never discussed it. We've never
Yeah,
written it down, but we know where we don't
that's
go
right.
and we know where we can go.
That's
And I
right.
think I asked you something once and you said, oh, no, 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 we don't go there. And I thought,
Hmm.
oh, yeah, isn't that interesting that it was such a basic earthly question,
Yeah.
but I would have never gone there. But I'm
No,
like, well, maybe she could,
maybe
maybe
she
nudge,
does. Yeah,
nudge,
but see,
maybe
I do
she
the
could go
same thing
there,
to
go a little
you.
further. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
we do that. We go back and forth, kind of say, now, if
Yeah,
Dana's
yeah,
going to do it, then I can. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's kind of like spiritual permission.
It is.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
It
it's kind of like
is.
pulling the veil back when people don't ask us. We know spiritually and the spiritual law and and those spiritual bypass that we're not to lean into people without permission. I mean, it's
And
just
see, I
something
love that.
unspoken that we're not to do.
Right. Yes, because somebody asked me just the other day why I didn't come up to people, in the grocery and things like this, and why don't you just tell me something and all. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
to me,
because
that's
I'm a
rude.
walking psychic. I'm never my own body or head, and I just
Yeah.
no.
No,
But you
and
also didn't have permission.
that's right, because I think that's rude. I don't
Mhm.
I don't know the damage that could be done by delivering a
Yeah.
heartfelt message.
And
That's
people
not my
don't
job.
always want to know.
That's right, because some
I know
people
many
panic.
people that were even clients will say, "Would you like any your aunt's here? Would you like to incorporate
Yes,
that in? Do you want to know?" No, because
that's right.
they don't emotionally know how to hold that, and they have never been introduced to that in their
Exactly.
life.
I
So,
agree. And a
yeah.
lot of times I've done that too, several
Mhm.
times, Dana. I would say, such and
Yeah.
such is here, and they want to know if it's okay if they come in.
Ah, the
Woohoo!
universe decided and our
They
guides
they let us
decided to
go.
let us go. I mean, we were
Yeah,
like held and
we
it's so
was.
interesting because we could hear our voices, but we were like stuck in this like you were stuck
Well,
in this angelic move like this, and I
it's
was like,
just
I don't know
but you
why
know
that's
what?
the case.
It's all good. It's all good because to me,
Yeah.
it's that energy intervening, and like you was talking about the boundaries, and all of
Yeah.
this, and there's our boundaries,
Well,
you know.
not, I think the universe was just, and we know that signs are everywhere, and we know that we must pay attention. We cannot
Oh
ignore
gosh, yes,
universal signs because this is what guides us. There are no coincidences. There's
no,
only what we do and what we don't do
that's
and
right,
where we go. And I think that when we spiritually go out of the realm of when people ask us, to go further, when we know
right,
intuitively the spiritual laws that we
yes,
must go by. The
right.
universe just shuts us down.
They
I
do.
mean, shuts us down.
That's right, and
So,
we have to honor that.
mhm,
We really, and that's honoring ourselves, honoring spirit. Um, I think that's a
yeah,
very important point, Dana, because
yeah,
people do always want more and they just don't understand. We can't hit even a to be continued or until
no.
next time. You see what I mean?
But what happens when people ask you, and we give a reading where there is a crossroads? I mean, we give choices, we give
That's right.
scenarios
That's
of
right.
of accuracy. But have you ever dealt with people saying, "What can I do to change that?" How can I mean, it's not bending time. We are giving, they have free will.
That's right.
They can make the
And they
changes.
have those choices.
Yeah, how do you
Okay.
how do you present that?
I try to let them understand. And some people they can't grasp it right away. And that's another reason why I say record, so you can go back and listen.
Yeah.
Um, because I can let them know that free will, okay,
Hmm.
that is part of choice. And they can choose a different, maybe not outcome per
Hmm.
se, but the beginning of. Do you see what I'm getting?
Right.
So then that
So we give
changes that
boundaries
path.
and yeah, so we give boundaries of visions and
Hmm.
a reading. And if they say, "How could I change that?" And we've seen it,
Hmm.
is it an absolute or can free will come in? I mean, I know the answer, but I'm asking you
Hmm.
because I think our Spirit Unlimited people would love to know this because I'm asked this a lot. So, Allie Divine, you answer that for me.
To
Can people
me,
change what
I
our
think
readings?
I think so. Okay, because and this is my opinion. I'm not trying to
Mhm.
push this even on you, Dana, but you see, I think
Push it on me, Allie.
what is brought for in a reading, okay,
Yeah.
that is possibilities, high outcome, okay,
Ooh,
and
I
to
love that.
me,
High
that is
outcome.
free will, okay, not God's willness, because I don't know God's will. I don't believe you know God's will for other people.
Yeah.
Nobody, in my opinion, knows it. Not even those angels, unless He
I
allows
just
it.
know that we work through the higher entity of God's
Yes,
energy,
that's
and
right.
I believe the angels that he
Mhm,
sends is
mhm.
God's energy. I believe that our earth guides that come back to guide us
Right.
are definitely in the light, and they're
Yes.
light workers. I have never felt a dark entity come
Oh,
in
no,
and
never.
control my readings or show
No,
me anything that
anything
isn't,
negative like that.
yeah,
That isn't a
no,
possible, because that's at free will. So you can
yeah,
actually show them A, B, and C. Okay.
right. But it doesn't mean that we don't see death. It doesn't mean we don't
That's
see
right.
catastrophes. It doesn't mean we
Right.
don't see, I
It's called
sometimes play tricks.
filters.
Yeah, thank you. I love that.
Mhm.
Ooh, catastrophe filters. But I
Yeah,
think it's our job and the boundaries around and our spiritual responsibility
I
not
agree.
to not to share things that can alter the course of someone, how they're going to play out their
Right.
life.
And a lot of times before I start a session, I'll ask my angels and to let their angels know, if there's something that I am not supposed to relay to them, please do
Yeah.
not let me see it, because sometimes I don't have a filter, Dana, and it
Oh, I
just
know it. This
flies
is
out of
this
my
is
mouth.
why we're talking about spiritual boundaries today,
Hmm.
because you have a special gift of being able to see it all. And I think you want to share it because it's helpful,
Right.
but you're just a channel of flow. I'm
Yeah.
more filtered on, is this
Right.
beneficial or what is the outcome?
But I
But
will
you're
hear a
so,
big no,
yeah,
sometimes.
you've
So
gotten
I
so
hear,
much
don't
better.
go there.
When I say, Allie, don't be sharing that shit.
I know. I know. But it's like, but I want to, because I don't
I
want to
know.
pack that shit with me,
I remember
you
we were
know?
doing a live event and you started and I'm like
You're like,
this.
no, no, no.
I'm looking at you and I'm like, no,
I'm like,
and you're like,
but
but
yeah,
there's a delivery of giving the upside, which is a possibility. And if we plant those seeds and it
that's
is
right.
there, they're more
And they're
prone
positive.
to lean into
Yes.
that, and it's
Yeah,
energy, it's high vibrational
it
readings.
is.
And wouldn't you
Yeah,
say our boundaries and our obligation is to go for high vibrational readings where we
most
leave
definitely.
them with hope?
Why
And
why
yeah,
would we give a negative session? Why would we want that? Because there's
yeah.
negative out there anyway. We're there
Yeah,
to
we are
provide
no
the
Debbie Downers. We are,
positive.
yeah. You
Oh,
want a positive
hell
reading,
no.
you come here, get on our show.
Mhm.
We are no Debbie Downers. We are
That's
not
right.
going there.
No. If they want that, they can find someone else.
Yeah, and free will, we can flip that
We can flip that stuff. We can
and
that's right.
reroute you. Yeah, I
That's
love
that the
that.
new
I love
version of the
that.
GPS. It's our
Well, today
spiritual
we
guidance.
yeah, spirit. Oh, I love that. GPS spiritual guides. Ooh, we might
Hmm.
be onto something there. So
Girl,
today
you get our
our
brains together.
well, our computer froze for almost 7 minutes while we were doing our podcast today. Even though we froze, we were still rolling. But isn't
That's
it
right.
interesting what showed up to guide us and give us signs? Uh,
Yes.
and the 444s that came in today were remarkable.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
I
I
mean,
think everything, yeah, and
it's
everything
abundance.
came. What did you say, Al?
I said there's so many here lately in abundance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's just
everything
those
tried.
flowing.
Yeah, we're pausing again, so I'm tripping over you. And everything in the world tried to stop me from doing this podcast show today. So here we are. We're finishing up. We're
You
going
and
to
me
thank our
both. We
spirit.
both, yeah,
Yeah,
we both had
I
slam
know.
days, but thank you guys
Slammed.
for showing up and listening, and we did it.
Yeah,
Freezing and all, we did
we
it.
love our Spirit Unlimited people. Our people.
Our people.
Ooh, let's talk about Christmas. Stay tuned,
Oh
Spirit
yes,
Unlimited people.
yes.
We are doing 4 episodes for the month of December. Archangels, guides, earth guides. We are breaking it down and we are
Yes.
going to allow you to tap in. We're doing 2 readings. It is going to be lit. I'm so
Oh, it's
excited, Allie.
I am too. I just can't. And y'all, please don't forget to like, share, and comment, and get in line for that free reading, because
Oh, yeah.
we love to give this stuff away, but you guys got to play by the rules.
Yeah,
You know?
I love that. Oh, Allie, look at you. Boundaries around our rules. I love that.
Yeah,
Yes, like, share, comment on this page to enter um, a reading, which we're doing 2 in December, and we haven't
that's
picked
right.
anyone. So it's
That's
from
right.
this moment on, they are
Yep,
eligible. All right.
that's right.
We love you all, Spirit Unlimited peeps. And Allie,
Have a great time this weekend, and I hope everybody
you
gets
too.
enough relaxation and ready to hit Monday all over again. You
There we
know?
go. There we
Can't wait to
go.
see you next time, Dana. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Love and light. Mwah. to
Bye.
everyone. Bye, guys.